everybody, this is Money Mom. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about, do you have to cut back on everything to pay off debt and attain financial goals? Let's get started. This actually is a highly requested video, and I thought it is a wonderful topic to talk about. Many times if you look up frugality and bare bones budgeting on YouTube, it talks about making more income and also basically cutting back on so many of our expenses, whether it's food, all sorts of entertainment, travel, calling your insurances to see if you can get a better rate. All of those things can be wonderful. But sometimes when all we're doing is cutting back, it can feel like, well, gosh, why am I even here on this earth if I have nothing to look forward to? And I always believe in balance, at least in my life. And somebody had mentioned about, gosh, we're talking about cutting back on expenses. What about adding something to our budget that may benefit us? And I wrote down 5 areas that you may want to think about adding to your budget. And like I always tell you guys, this is personal finance. We all live in different areas where we all have different incomes. So each of us have to make a decision about our finances that best suits our lifestyle. But number one, the first thing that people tend to cut back on when they're wanting to pay off debt or attain financial goals and maybe get their budget where they have lower monthly expenses is food. And I know that everybody has a different, quote, eating plan. I know that some of you are vegetarians, some are vegan, some are doing carnivore keto, some of you are Weight Watchers. We all are eating differently, and we all can make improvements on eating more healthy. But one of the first things that people cut back on is food. And I know that I've heard this many times, food is like medicine. And I do really think that that is true. I know that I've made a lot of improvements in the last 14 months, but I know that I could definitely make more improvements. But you guys know I'm all about the small steps. Well, if somebody says, oh, I'm going to cut our food budget down to $75, I do think you can eat healthy on a budget if you do a lot of preparing your own food rather than buying things that are convenience foods. That is definitely true. But sometimes in order to eat healthier, you may need to spend more. And what eating healthy to one person may not be healthy to someone else. You may want to think about increasing your food budget to get some of the nutrients and foods that you feel would benefit your health. But like I always say, that's up to you. But I noticed that food budget is something immediately that people tend to cut back on. But I also noticed this, when people have when they've paid off their debt and then they've saved their first 3 months of expenses or bills in a savings account, many times the one area people do like to increase in their budget is food budget, so they can eat a healthier diet. Number 2, which is kind of goes along a little bit with number 1, anything health related, mental health related. Sometimes people may need to go to a counselor or medical professional to have someone to talk to. And I personally think that those are things that I would definitely want to have in my budget because I think they're important. I do know somebody that's had some injuries and they do go and get massages, and that is something that really helps them. So things that are to do with your health, I really think if we don't have to cut those things out of our budget, they can help us to live a longer, healthier life. So that's number 2. Number 3, and this one's going to surprise you, especially right now, maybe a vacation. And I don't mean you have to go on a big, elaborate vacation. Let's say that all you have in your budget is $500. And maybe things are opening up in whatever area that you live and you're able to go enjoy some activities. You may want to think about possibly maybe going on a weekend trip somewhere, maybe somewhere small. It doesn't, like I said, doesn't have to be extravagant, but get away for a little bit, maybe do a little sightseeing or get and rest somewhere, do something fun, even if it's just, or even an overnight little trip, something. I think many of us want to save money and we don't do things like this for each other. But I think if we do start doing things like this, we're going to come back with renewed energy. Number 4, and this is a big thing people cut out, any type of entertainment. For example, I've seen a lot of people that will say, oh, you could cut out the Starbucks. But maybe there's somebody that gets together with a dear friend once a month and goes to Starbucks and enjoys a cup of coffee and a muffin and sits there with their friend at Starbucks and enjoys that, or goes out to eat. That would be another example, or maybe to a movie. I know some of these things are not open in some of your areas. We're each different, but I'm just giving an example. But maybe doing something fun once or twice a month, we can add that on our budget because it's something to look forward to. And last but not least, this one will surprise you. I'm saying this, gifts. I know that I have really cut back on a lot of gift giving. I do think giving is wonderful, but I used to go a little overboard with it. But you know what? Maybe gift giving or exchanging with a friend may be something that you want to add back in your budget because it does bring you value. The bottom line here, as I'm saying, is that I really believe it's wonderful to have something to look forward to. Now, you don't have to have something to look forward to that costs money. That is true. But there may be things in your budget that you really enjoy, that bring value and meaning to your life, that just make you happy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want to know from you, if you guys had some extra money each month, we'll say an extra $100 a month to spend, somebody's giving it to you, and you had to spend it on yourself somehow, something that is enjoyable, that brings you value, what would you spend that $100 on? I want to hear from you in the comments below. That's all for now. This is Money Mom signing off, and as always, I love you. Bye-bye.